1996 Kawasaki KZ1000P, ride like the 5-0. Want to ride an iconic, made-in-America police motorcycle? Yeah, who wouldn't? And you're talking about some kind of Harley-Davidson, right? Wrong. I would argue that the Kawasaki KZ1000P is one of the most interesting collector bikes on the market, due to their unique history and even better, their low pricing, like the machine seen for sale here. However, like many police bikes, it's going to need some fettling to get to showroom condition. A repackaged classic. The KZ1000P isn't unusual because of any weird design or oddball engine. This bike is based on the very familiar and very classic air-cooled inline-four that Kawasaki started developing with the Z1 in 1973, then turned into the KZ900, then the KZ1000. Previously, Kawasaki built a KZ1000C police bike. Production of the KZ1000P began in 1982. It was based on Kawi's J's motor, the second-gen version of the KZ1000 engine that debuted that year. And while the KZ1000 was Kawasaki's second-tier muscle bike of that generation, right behind their GPZ1000 superbike, the KZ1000P was most definitely not made for the sporting rider. It was a purpose-built police bike, assembled in Nebraska. That's right, this was a made-in-America machine. These days, Kawasaki's factory in Lincoln is making ATVs, rail cars, and jet skis, but motorcycles were an important part of its history. When it opened in 1974, Kawasaki was the first Japanese company to build vehicles of any kind in North America. The Nebraska factory is mainly responsible for kickstarting the Japanese cruiser scene with its limited series. And when the rest of Kawi's factories stopped making the KZ1000 in 1984, the Lincoln plant kept building the KZ1000P police bike all the way through 2005 for a 23-year production run. What's different? The KZ1000P has several features that distinguish it from the standard street bike models. The motor is mostly the same, but has a more powerful charging system for the lighting system built into the front fairing. The fiberglass fairing was standard on P models. Earlier Kawi police bikes had a simpler windshield. The final years of production had LED lights that lessened the load on the bike's charging system, but for the first 20 years or so, old-school incandescent bulbs got the job done. The forward section of the frame is the same, but the rest of the chassis is much modified. The rear section of the frame is reconfigured to hold radio equipment and saddlebags containing the motor officer's gear. The frame is beefed up for hard use. The P model came with a solo seat and floorboards. A chain drive was standard, same as the civilian models, which is a bit of a puzzler. Kawi had built big 4-cylinders with shaft drive before. You'd think a low-maintenance drivetrain would make life easier for the motor pool maintenance staff, with even a belt drive preferable to chain, and Kawasaki built some belt drive models at this time as well. And one big, final change to note, the KZ1000P had 18-inch wheels with run-flat Dunlop tires, this bike here. Kawasaki's P model was one of the most successful police bikes in history, so it's no wonder that there's collector interest, especially because they're relatively affordable when compared to the same thing from Harley-Davidson. This bike here is for sale on Advrida's flea market, with the following info.